Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Susie Say That. Today's topic is a question. Are you a hypocrite? Let's sit in that for a moment. I ask myself that. I just do it. Sometimes I just say, God, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Show me. Show me. I want to be transparent. I want to be the truth. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be telling people they shouldn't do things that I am doing. That's being a hypocrite. I don't want to do that. I don't want to live my life like that. So show me if I missed the mark in that area. And the enemy is always coming trying to set us up with things, because I tell people I don't steal. I don't steal, I don't do certain things. And, the other day I was at the store and something I got that I didn't pay the full price for it. And then I looked and I said, oh, God, I got to go back in this store. And it was late and I was like, not tonight, but I'm going there. I'm going to go there, God. Just let it be okay when I go back there to let these people know that I didn't pay the price for what it said. I want to pay that price. So I go in the store a couple of days later. I said, this is what happened. And I was like, I just want to pay the right price for it. I just need to pay. She said, well, ma'am, in order to pay the right price for it, where's the receipt? I said, well, I can go back and get one and you can just charge me, the full price. And I was telling her all these things that she can do. And she was smiling and she was laughing. I said, listen here, one thing I don't do is steal. I don't take from people. And I want to be honest here. And she started to smiling and laughing and stuff. Well, it was fixed. Okay. She fixed it. And this is the thing. I had to do that because my spiritual conviction and my moral conviction says, if you don't do that, you are a thief. Oh, I wasn't sitting up there. Oh, God gave me that. He blessed me with that. God ain't blessing no mess. God is not telling me to not pay for something. No, let your own heart convict you. But I wasn't then going to do that. And then if somebody steals something and I have an opinion on it, I said, well, oh my God, why would they steal that? God would have provided. God would have did this and that. But then I took from that store and that price was wrong, but never went back and made things right. That's what you call a hypocrite. I would have been a hypocrite to myself. Well, who would have known I was a hypocrite? Myself. I would have known I was being a hypocrite, judging people who steal. But then there's me that won't even take that back and make things right at the store. That stuff don't belong to me at that store. That's their stuff. It's not mine. But I made things right. I don't do that. That's being a hypocrite, telling them that they shouldn't do a certain thing, but then you do it. For example, you could be telling someone, I don't smoke, and you shouldn't smoke either. Smoking is so bad for your lungs. I just wouldn't smoke. I'm telling you now, this is what they said about smoking, etc., etc. But every now and then, you get this urge to light you one. But then you will say, I don't smoke. I don't do that all the time. I got nervous and I lit me one. No, you're being a hypocrite. You smoke cigarettes. You're being a hypocrite to the people that don't think you smoke anymore. I remember this one time, this person said they didn't smoke, and my mother called them smoking. And my mother said, you was a liar. Now, you know you smoke, but you going all the way around telling everybody you don't smoke no one, honey. I seen you. You was a liar. That's what my mother said to them. So then when I asked her, I said, oh, you smoking again? And not to judge them, but I just asked, are you smoking again? This and that. And I got nervous and stuff. But you up there sitting up there testifying and telling people you don't smoke no more. You're being a hypocrite because you're convicting. You want to convict those people that do smoke. And you want to shine your light like I don't smoke. That's being a hypocrite. Telling people that, I don't drink. I don't drink anything. Oh, I don't drink. But then you have a glass of wine here and there. You drink. You still drink. But then you'll go and you'll judge or, you'll be a hypocrite with that person and say, oh, I don't drink. Oh, I just, just special. You still drink. It's the same. But you'll judge the person that got drunk and fell asleep and, oh, they were drunk. Yeah, we can say what they were. There's nothing wrong with that, telling the truth, saying what they were. But then when you're being a hypocrite, and you're saying they were drunk, they was this, they was that, and you keep going on and on and on and on about it. And then instead of saying, yeah, I drink a little wine here and there. And what do you think about people that drink? I don't think they should have a drink. I think that all alcohol should be banned. But then you'll have some wine. Well, it's different. Wine is different. No, wine can get you drunk. And I know what I'm talking about. Wine can get you drunk. Yes, it can. Anything that you overindulge with can get you drunk, get you high or whatever. But you can't say, I don't do that. I don't drink, but you have some wine. You're being a hypocrite. And not a hypocrite, you're being a liar because you do drink. You just don't indulge in it, which is a good thing. But you still drink. When people say, do you drink? And you say, oh, no, I don't drink. But then you know you do because you have wine. You still drink. Okay, you get my point here? I done talked with you about stealing, being a hypocrite. I've talked to you about lying, being a hypocrite. All these other things that, are you a hypocrite? Do you tell people not to do things that you do? That's what a hypocrite is. Do you do that? If not today, let it be a day where you inventory yourself. Do you tell people they shouldn't dress a certain way? But when you go out, you dress a certain way. I gave many years ago, and I think I shared this on another video about some years ago, my son and we were talking about being a hypocrite. And I was explaining to him the same thing about what's a hypocrite and what is not. I said, for example, I post all kind of, I do quotes, and I do blogspot, and I post all kind of blogs and stuff, and I build myself up to be a woman of God. That's what I present to the world. I'm a woman of God. Okay, but then one weekend I decided to put me some Daisy Dukes on. And I put the Daisy Dukes on, and I put my heels on, and my cheeks is hanging out. And I talk against that. I'm like, what you looking for? You got to be looking for something if you dress like that. Now, my teen years, my younger years, yes, I had several pair of Daisy Dukes, okay? So I'm not being a hypocrite when I say there's something going on when you do that. There's something going on. And in my case, I was just, trying to dress nice and get some attention. And, that's just the truth. That's why I dress like that. Okay? But the point is this. I told my son, I said, what if I went to the mall and then people looking at me and they all talking, saying, oh, Susie got this on. Miss here, oh, she got that on. Look at, did you see them Daisy Dukes she had on? But she be on these videos talking about, or she be on these blog spots, she be writing these quotes and these, she do it all. But could you believe she was in the mall showing her cheeks? She had them high boots on or heels on. And then, oh my gosh, what's going on? But she preaches the holiness of God, to cover yourself if you're a woman, not to be showing your body parts and all this other. Don't she preach about those things? I said, what do you call that, son? He said, you're being a hypocrite. I said, right. That's being a hypocrite. It's not being a hypocrite if you're talking to people about certain lifestyles. You're not being a hypocrite because you don't do those things anyhow. Are you judging the tree? You should judge a tree. The Bible even tells you judge it. Judge it so that you don't be on the tree with the thing that you're judging. Judge it. You should. There's nothing wrong with judging if it's decent and in order. You should judge the people that's in your house. You may have a murderer, a robber, a thief, liar. You should judge that by your own life. Do I come in people's house carrying 2 guns, or do I come in people's house with a lying spirit on me and talking about their children, or do I come in there? You get the point here? There is a difference. Hypocrite and judging are not one of the same. They are 2 different things. And today we're talking about being a hypocrite. Are you a hypocrite? Did you tell someone they shouldn't celebrate Halloween because it's just evil, and you gave them the origin of it and all these other kind of things, and then tell them that they shouldn't do it? But then you go home and watch every horror movie it is. Bloods, guts, you do it all. You're a hypocrite. Because evil is evil. Whether the witch got a hat on, or whether she had a broom, or whether she just got a skirt on. And then she's practicing magic and all these other things. That's evil. Whether he's got a Dracula with all kind of stuff going on with his cape and blood dripping from him, it's still evil. Whether he got a bag in his hand or not a bag, and whether they passing out treats with all kind of stuff in it or not, or putting poison in the treats, whatever it is. And then you go home and you play a movie where there's just slinging murder and blood and guts and all these other kind of stuff. You're being a hypocrite. But you'll judge them that go out and put the Dracula outfit on. Oh, just put something nice on. Put something angelical on. Don't put that bloody and gooey stuff. But you sitting up there watching it on TV. You're a hypocrite. You get where I'm going with this? Are you a hypocrite? Because if you're doing the same thing that somebody else is doing, you're just doing it in a different way. It's all the same. You're being a hypocrite. Evil is evil. Don't mix them. You can't make good evil. You can't make evil good. It doesn't go together. And if you read your Bible, you will see there is separation. The Bible tells us to even shun. Don't even look at evil. I wonder why. because it'll fill your spirit up. It'll fill the inward you up. That's why the Bible tells us don't even touch it. Don't even come near it. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you do it, you can't undo it. You can repent and say, God, I'm sorry. As I did many years ago. I didn't know. 30-something years ago. Last time I celebrated Halloween. 30-something years ago. And I had been celebrating ever since I was a child. That's been many years ago. And then my former pastor gave us some wisdom and some knowledge and some books. And he went way back. He went from when it first started. And he said, do you want to partake of this? Do you want to continue? And he didn't just put it all to us at one time. No, little by little by little. And then I started being convicted about it. And I told my children, and they were little, we're not doing that anymore. We're done with that. Because that is associated with evil. The whole day is evil. This is what goes on in that day. This, that, and the other. And I have people ask me often, do you celebrate it? They got to the point they already know not to ask me. But someone asked me about it. He's like, do you celebrate Halloween? And I said, no. And then he began to tell me how he seen the devil before and how he went to heaven. And he just started telling me all kinds of, just telling me that these things. And he's like, I seen the devil. And I said, no, you didn't see the devil because the devil cannot be more than one place at one time. We think we see the devil. What you see is his spawn. You see his demons and you see his imps. If you have a visitation with those things, you're seeing imps and demons that are on their assignment. They're on their assignment in our city. They have a city, all demons and imps. Just like God got all these angels, the devil got some demons and imps that go to war for him, that protect him, okay? So that when you didn't see the devil got bigger fish to fry, okay? That's what I said to him. I said, the devil got bigger fish to fry. It ain't in our town. He doesn't come. He's over a big country. He's over a country waiting for the Messiah to come because he knows he's coming. So he's over there positioning himself to win. He don't come to these kind of cities. He sent his demons and imps. He has tons and tons and tons and tons of them. Just like God has angels, he has demons. So, God can be more than one place at one time. You can call on God. We all can. And the Spirit of God is there. We all at one time, 1 million people can call on God, and he's there with 1 million people. Individually, he's there. The enemy doesn't have that kind of power or authority. He can only be himself. His spirit body can only be one place at one time. See, and he was just asking me, but I got a chance to talk to him about that. Evil. He said, so you don't watch scary movies? I don't know. Why would I pay for my Netflix bill or anything else, pay for that bill for the enemy to torture me with evil? No, I don't put that in my house, but I don't judge people that do. Nor am I being hypocritical because guess what? I don't do it. It's just plain and simple. I'm glad you asked. Why don't you? Let me give you a little history on it. And I talked about this so many times about the history, but then, some of y'all want to talk to me about Christmas then. But you're asking me these questions. But then when I give you these answers, you want to tell me about why you celebrate Christmas. Why you celebrate Easter, I don't. But I celebrate the resurrection of Christ. But I don't get involved with those bunnies and those eggs because I know what the origin is. I know what it is. Christmas, I know what the tree is. You think Jesus hung up on a Christmas tree? No, and I know the scripture that most people talk about. He hung on a tree. Was it that Christmas tree? No, I just like the lights and the action, Miss Jackson. Okay, that's just a saying. I just like that. But I'm not being a hypocrite. I'll tell you, even if you tell me anything that you know about Christmas or you don't see why would I celebrate it, etc., I still tell you why I do. And I said, let me be convicted like I was about Halloween. It's your own conviction about being a hypocrite. But you're being one because you're telling people not to do the very thing you do. Like somebody asked me, do you celebrate Halloween, Miss Hill? And I said, oh, no, I don't celebrate that. Why not? I have my own spiritual conviction, my own belief system that tells me I shouldn't tamper with that. However, do you watch movies? No, absolutely not. I don't watch anything. But then I go right home and I sit and watch all these movies about death and all these movies about blood and just, oh my gosh, just tons of evil. And I watch all that and I fill myself up with it. But then you say, Miss Hill, you shouldn't celebrate Halloween either. But then I celebrate the other stuff that's connected with evil. Then I'm a hypocrite. I think today what we all should do, and I do it often too, but I'll do it again today. We should pray and ask God to open up our eyes and our ears so we'll see and we'll hear what he's saying to us about Halloween. What is God saying? Father God, if I'm wrong in Halloween, then let me see it. Do I personally see something wrong with it? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do. But it's not my job to convict you and tell you, oh, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. I always say, let your heart lead you. Because if your heart is leading you to celebrate it, then what more can I say? But 30-some years ago, when my heart led me to stop, I was convicted and I stopped. And one of my children was just 2 years old. I think he's about 2 years old. It's been 30-some years ago. And I stopped. And I never went back to it. And I started learning so much. I mean, leaps and bounds I was learning. And my former pastor was giving it to me because I was hungry for the truth. I want to know. I don't want to celebrate anything that comes against God. I don't. So show me where I'm wrong at. Show me where I walk in error because I want to fix it. Because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be judging people and it's not righteous judging. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be looking at all kind of skeletons and Draculas and witches. And I know what a witch does. I know what a vampire does. I know these are things that's true in the spiritual realm and manifest here all the time because human beings are receptors of it. The enemy needs a body. And his demons and imps don't care who body it is, to celebrate him, to give him honor, to give him glory. And for me, my belief system is that he does a good job on it, on Halloween. He does a good job. He knows how to celebrate himself because he has droves and droves of people that celebrated with them. Am I being hypocritical? No. I'm just telling you, I don't celebrate or have anything to do with it. So if I'm telling you why I don't, then, hey, ask God to show you. Because I did. When my former pastor first came to me and said Halloween is wrong, and I said, you're going to have to show it to me because it's fun. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I had fun from it. I have fun. All the scary stuff and all this kind of stuff. It's just one day. We have fun. I dress my kids up and I don't put them in no devil costumes or no Draculas, no witches. I put them in angelical things. And my son's going to be Snoopy this year. And I mean, I celebrated it. I celebrated it. He said, well, I'm going to show you why, as a woman of God, that you shouldn't. That you should really, really think about why you celebrate it. Think about it. And then it started. And the transformation happened. My eyes were open. My ears could hear now. And when I seen some things that I seen and read some things, and he brought the history to me and it became alive, I no longer touched it. I said, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't want to have, and people will say, you believe the devil do this and that. You're just ignorant. You're just ignorant because you haven't read enough. I'm just going to call you ignorant because that's what you are. You're an ignorant person. And that's okay because I was ignorant and I was foolish and I didn't know any better and I didn't. Because yes, the enemy is real. You think he's just sitting over there in a different country and waiting along and he's not trying to get as many people he can get to celebrate him? Do some history. You should. We all should do some history. See, I had someone to do history with me, my former pastor. I wasn't alone. It was many of us that was there when he started teaching and teaching and teaching. And he didn't just go and just pounce on the devil and his demons. No, he pounced on facts, spiritual facts. He pounced on the history of it. He pounced and he shared. And hey, I no longer wanted to have anything to do with it. When I seen all that stuff that was going on, oh my God, seance, Ouija boards and all that kind of stuff. And I got some stories about Ouija boards when I was young, 11 years old. So I know some things, okay? I've tampered onto the dark side before. And no, I didn't want to tamper on that dark side because it's innocent. You're not conjuring up really spirits and you hear something and you just think, oh, that was my imagination. Or we're just having fun. We're just having fun. I've experienced the Ouija board. Yes, I have. With my family members. And I was like 11 years old. I was young. And we seen some things, heard some things. So I know the spiritual side of wickedness and evil is real, because I'm not just telling you this because I'm just conjuring up something. I'm just thinking about I'm trying to win you to Christ. No, it's not my job to win you to Christ, because it's clear. If God be lifted up, he'll draw you. My job is just to tell you the truth. That's it. My job is just to tell you my experience so that you don't have to go that way that I went. So that you can have the knowledge and the wisdom that you don't want to participate or have your children participating in it. Now, you still may, who knows? I still did. After my former pastor told me, hey, listen, you shouldn't keep dressing those kids. I kept dressing them because I was like, it's just for fun, it's for fun, it's for fun. But then when he started teaching me many, many things, I slowly got away from it. And eventually, I stopped it. I was done with it. I said, I want nothing to do with that. I don't want anything to do with that, because how can light be with darkness? How can darkness be with light? Then I began to separate it and know different. I knew different. And you can know different if that's what you want to do. But your heart got to be open to it, just like it's open to celebrate Halloween. Your heart is open for that. So why not just ask God to open your heart to the truth about it? Okay? I'm not being hypocritical. I'm not being a hypocrite because I don't celebrate any of it. So I'm just telling you my experience and the truth, okay? Think about that as you go about your Thursday. Think about it as you go about your weekend. Are you a hypocrite? Do you tell other people to do things that you yourself do? Then you are a hypocrite, okay? Till next time.